Hi everyone, my name is Winnie of the Winnie's Crew Chronicles, and today I decided to talk about my journey with um, goiter, the thyroid inflammation. So, let me start from the very beginning because it's kind of a long story, but I'll try and be as brief and as precise as possible. I don't know all the terms my doctors used and all that, but I'll try and explain it as much as I can so that people who are experiencing the same thing can take the appropriate measures and act fast. Because recently there was a post I saw on Facebook of a lady that said she has goiter. It was inflamed already. She had thyroid issues. It was inflamed already, and they were telling her to take medication. No, not medications. To go the traditional way or to take herbs or something to shrink it. So, I gave her my 1 cent because when I had the same issue, some people advised same, even gave me some herbs. I tried and there wasn't any difference. And I am not one to double into to play with my health. If I had my chances, I'll do what my doctor advised and take care of it before it goes awry. So I gave my 1 cent, and now I'm making a full video to explain what I went through. So, my name is Winifred of the Winnie's Creek Chronicles, like I said, and this is my journey with goiter. So, let's start with what is goiter. Simply put, goiter is a lump or a swelling that's at the front of the neck that's caused by a swollen thyroid. So, and the thyroid itself is just a small gland in your neck that makes hormones. In my own case, my thyroid inflammation was induced by childbirth because when I had my first baby back in 2015, afterwards I started off on some family planning, and it was hormonal. So I guess that's in conjunction with the postpartum stress and everything triggered mine, I guess. And at some point my doctors confirmed it too. So mine started. Let's go back to 2015. Mine started in 2015. I had my first baby in April, and then shortly after, I was getting ready one day when my elder sister said, "Oh, there's this lump on your neck right here." And I'm like, "Okay, let me take a look." I had not noticed it before then. So I actually just went, looked in the mirror, and that was when I saw one very tiny lump like stuff here. And I'm like, "Oh, it will probably just dissolve on its own," because I hadn't noticed it before then. So I decided to just go about my business, and I never give it a second thought. But as I progressed after that delivery, I noticed that lump kept getting bigger. So, okay, I wasn't still worried at the time. I decided that, okay, let me hold on and see what this is. I didn't think about goiter or anything, like I never thought about it. So prior to my second baby, it was already a bit more enlarged, and people were beginning to ask, like, "Oh, what's on your neck? Why is that on your neck?" It almost seemed like an Adam's apple, like it was that big. I'm like, "Well, I noticed it after I had my first baby, so I've not really gotten it checked out." Somebody was like, "Why not try go see a doctor for it?" I'm like, I don't think it's something to see a doctor for yet, because it's just there. There was no pain, there was nothing. Even when I swallow, it wasn't hurting, it was just there. So I was like, okay. So I got pregnant for my second baby in 2017, and I noticed it was getting really bigger. Like I was noticing the size was increasing. Okay, now I was beginning to get alarmed. I spoke to my doctor about it, who said it's a hormonal thing, that after having my baby, if it's still there, then we need to check it out. I'm like, okay. At this time, it had grown like twice the size. It was already really very big this time around. So I like, okay. And I had my baby in November of 2017, and then I went back to see the doctor, and she referred me to a specialist. That was back in Lagos. referred me to a specialist. There was this hospital, I can't remember the name, in Ikeja. So I went there, they took a sample, like for biopsy, they took a sample from the mass in there, took with a needle. So said they were going to get it tested and then see what happens. So the tests were run, and then it came back that the mass there wasn't, they said it was benign, like it wasn't cancerous. So the doctor gave me two options, like it could be removed for cosmetic reasons because it was obviously enlarged now, like it was big, or I could just leave it there and monitor it since it wasn't posing any threats yet. But at this time, I noticed that when I am sleeping and I'm lying face forward, it's almost like something is pressing down on my neck, like I'm choking. So I don't lie face up. I lie on my side or on my stomach. So it was beginning to give me breathing problems, like it's always like when I'm choking when I'm sleeping, especially when I face up. So like, okay, since it's not cancerous and my doctor said it's not a life-threatening thing yet, let's still watch. So I got pregnant for my third baby, and that was when I migrated to Canada. We came to Canada in 2019, and I was heavily pregnant with my baby at the time when I migrated to Canada. So when I got here, I went for my antenatal. Immediately my OBGYN saw me. She was like, that lump on your neck, have you checked it out? And I'm like, yeah. She said, what did the doctor say? And I'm like, okay, I checked it out back in Nigeria, not here. And she's like, no, she doesn't want to take chances, that she wants it checked out here. So she gave me a referral immediately to see an otolaryngologist. That's what they call the doctor for the neck or something. So I went, I saw the doctor. Hold on. Okay, so I went, I saw the doctor, who sent me for a scan and sent me for another biopsy. So these two things were run, the two tests. I went for the scan. The scan showed that it was big. It was actually my right thyroid that was inflamed, and the biopsy came back that it wasn't cancerous, that it was benign. So the doctor still gave me the same option that my doctor back in Nigeria gave, said it's either of two things, but he will advise, since it's now very large, like if somebody looks at me, the person notices immediately. But like 2 years back, when this was happening, it wasn't that big. Like it would take you to come and look at me closer to know that something was wrong with my neck. But this time around, anybody that sees me like, Winnie, what's wrong with your neck? So it was becoming an issue. I had to explain to everybody. It just happened like after I had my babies, and then it got larger and larger. In all of this, some of the symptoms I experienced when I was going through the biopsy, seeing my doctor, and I didn't know those things were actually symptoms of the thyroid or goiter stuff-ish. I never knew those were symptoms, but I knew I had this excessive heat. Like I was always feeling hot. Even if every other person in this room is cold, I'm hot. Like I'm sweating profusely. So I didn't know that was one of the bad sides of this. That was one of the symptoms of this thyroid inflammation and thyroid disease. So I was always feeling hot. I remember back in my workplace then, the AC would be on and I would still be complaining, I'm hot. So there was a day we had power outage and I was almost fainting because I was hot. I was collapsing. And then I used to drink a lot of water because I was always feeling hot. So one of the symptoms I experienced was excessive heat. I was always hot, feeling hot. And then the second thing was loss of appetite. I cook. I'm a chef. I cook. But I noticed I wasn't much about the eating. Even if I ordered takeouts, I still wasn't the eating person. So it was giving me lots of appetite. I would see food, but I wouldn't have the appetite to eat. Maybe a few bites here and there, but I wasn't eating like I was supposed to. So lots of appetite too was part of what I was experiencing. And then there was this weight gain. So if I am not eating, how am I gaining weight? So there was excessive weight gain, like my weight was beginning to shoot up. So when the doctor was asking questions and I told him, they were like, okay, yeah, that's part of it too. So I was like, really? Because they were asking, how do you feel? Do you feel like really cold or really hot? Like, how do you feel about the temperature? Or like, it's always hot. It's always hot for me. You won't see me putting on any sweaters or anything. I'm always looking for a way to take off jackets, to put on some tank tops, like, cause I'm always hot. So those were some of the symptoms I experienced while I was going through all this. So my neck doctor said he would advise strongly that I take it out because it's really big. And I'm like, okay, so what do I need to do? He like, okay, have your baby. After having the baby, because it doesn't show any threats right now, but after your baby, when you are ready, we'll book you for a surgery. Shortly before my baby arrived, COVID started. My baby arrived January of 2020, and COVID started like same January. So COVID lockdowns, everything. So I kept waiting to hear back from my neck doctor, and it was until after like 6 months when there was a backlog of surgeries that were to be done. But because I had already been processed before then for this surgery and I was waiting for a date, they called me up like, okay, we have an opening for November of 2020. Are you ready to go for the surgery? And I'm like, yeah, by all means. So prepared for the surgery. But before then, remember, I am back in Nigeria. I traveled to the village one day. I'm from Imo State. My husband is from Abia State. So I traveled home one day and somebody gave me one leaf, said it was a never die leaf, to always chew it to shrink the goiter. So one of my colleagues took me to one agbo seller, said the agbo will help me that was in Lagos, to shrink the stuff. But myself, I'm not an agbo person. I have never been known to drink agbo for anything. It's not like it's not potent, but it's my personal decision not to dabble into those kind of things. So if it's not something I can use and wash on the outside and it gets treated, I'm not ingesting something I don't know the roots and herbs where it is from. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going the agbo way. So they showed me one other one. That one imports some kind of ginseng-like medications. She gave me some other mix of herbs and roots. They were already packaged, Yubo packaging. I like, take this and it will shrink it. No, I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. So these are the remedies I got back home, but I wasn't ready to take that chance. So then the only one I did was that never die leaf. I actually got some. I replanted it when I go back to Lagos. I was chewing it. I was making tea from it, but there was no difference. There was no shrinking. There was no going. So one of my sisters was the one that looked at me. My younger sister was like, this thing is goiter, because I was like, she said, this thing is goiter. And the earlier you treat it, the better, because for some people it gets really bad. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to play. My doctors are working on it and I'm monitoring it. And whenever it gets really bad, I'm really going to take care of it. She was like, okay, I'm on top of this. My husband was involved and my parents were also involved in it. So that was how we went until, like I said, back to Canada. So booked me for surgery, and it was on the 25th of November 2020 when I had that surgery. So I prepared because of COVID protocols and everything. That was how it took that long. And then I went for the surgery and it was successful. And guess what? That lump that was looking from the outside, it was actually big from the outside. And I had gone for biopsy, I had gone for scans, and it showed that it was okay, it was benign. Guess what? After the surgery, they took the mass that they brought out from there. My doctor said it was over 10 cm large. 10 cm, so it was big, it was massive. He was actually alarmed by the time they did the surgery, and he saw, he was like, it was big. He was really concerned. So they took it back for another test. That test came back that it was cancerous. So it would have actually become something worrisome if I had not acted immediately. It would have gone bad, but God did not allow it, because I kept praying and asking God to direct me and to take the right decision. So God did not allow it to go south, and it was taken out on time, the right part, and then the left part was also tested and scans run, and it was okay. So I didn't have to be placed on any medication to follow up or anything, and I'm fine. And my scar healed really good. this is it. It healed really good. And for people that knew me when I had the big lump on my neck, and they see me like, oh, it has gone down, I'm like, yeah, I had surgery for it. So I decided to share this to encourage someone out there who is still scared to go for their goiter surgery, to have it removed or to have it tested or for anything. I'm trying to encourage you that sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. Yeah, because I didn't want to dabble into the agbo thing and the concoctions and everything. It's not my kind of thing. I could be trying to treat one problem and then another one starts building up. I could be trying to treat the goiter and then I'm starting up kidney and liver malfunction diseases and all that because of all the concoctions I'm ingesting into my system. So I decided not to do that. I'm encouraging someone today that I went for the surgery and I'm fine. I'm good. So far, my doctor keeps monitoring. Every 6 months, I still go for another scan to follow up. Since 2020, I go for scans twice a year to make sure that everything is still good. And so far, it's been great. And God will continue to make it great. It will heal very good and it will continue to be perfect for me. So I won't have to go under the knife again because of any thyroid issues. By God's grace, I have faith. And this is me encouraging someone out there to take the chance, take the leap of faith. If it's something that your doctor has advised you to do, just do it and then get it over with and get back your life. You don't have to be, because then I was wearing scarves, I was wearing clothes, turtlenecks, because I was tired of answering questions from people, both the ones I know and the ones I did not know, about what's up with my neck and what's wrong with me. So now I have my confidence back. My neck is beautiful and I'm doing very great. So this is my story, and this is one of the things that childbearing has triggered for me, amongst many other things, but this is what I wanted to talk about today mainly. So if you are out there and you're thinking, should I do this surgery or should I take concoctions to shrink it, just do the surgery. If you have the funds, do the surgery. It will help you. The earlier the better, because if I had wasted time, remember my lump, the lump that was removed from the, let me not personalize it, lump that was removed, the inflamed thyroid was cancerous. It was malignant. That's what they call it. It was malignant. So if I had waited, it would have become something else. And I don't want it to become something else for some other person out there. Take the chance, take the leap of faith, get it removed and get back your life, get back your beauty. It's a cosmetic surgery, so it's not a major surgery as such, but do the right thing, make the right choice, let your doctors advise you right, and I pray God helps you in the walk through the things we go through as parents, as humans, and as moms. This is Winnie, and thank you for listening. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If this is your first time on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Go look at our other videos and continue to share and to invite your friends to come and watch us. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.